Now, I want you guys for a second to imagine giving, for example, a monkey caviar. Like, okay, caviar is expensive. It tastes amazing. I've been told, never had it. But you give it to a monkey, doesn't understand it. You know, I had the iPhone 14 Pro Max, you know, the battery life, the camera, the video, the RAW, all this other stuff, right? And it was like giving caviar to a monkey. Although I had all these features, I really did not get any use out of it. So I went ahead and I upgraded to the iPhone 13 mini. And here it is right here. Let me take it out the case for you guys. And I actually love this phone. And you might say, Tommy, how is this actually an upgrade? It's not, right? Because this is a 13, you had the 14, this is mini, it's supposed to be worse, but in reality, it's actually not. And by the end of this video, you might actually agree with me. Now, by the way, this right here is a financial channel. So when I talk about these things in some way, it has to do with money. Okay. So there is a money factor here. That phone cost me $1,100 to get this phone brand new. It's about like $700, $730 with tax, even more. But I'll tell you even more details on how I even save more money and all this stuff. And by the way, a lot of folks don't know this, but I've been doing reselling for a very long time. Because I was about like 12 years old, I was reselling stuff. But I call myself a selfish reseller. And the answer is because I only resell for profit for a short portion of my life. But whenever I actually resell, it's because I want to get something and I don't want to pay full price. So sometimes I buy a few products, sell a few, get some money that way, and then buy what I want. So that's how I usually resell, okay? I'm always just reselling for myself to actually buy something I want and to save a bunch of money. So that's how I actually do things. Now, let's go into details into this transaction. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. I don't just make videos about phones. I rarely do, but I do make videos about investments and how to make sure you actually have money for retirement and all that good stuff. But overall, let's talk about the transaction. And the initial transaction was actually buying that iPhone 14 Pro Max that I actually bought last year as a gift to myself. And I paid $1,100. Now I actually got this phone brand new in the box from a Google employee. When I say in the box, I don't mean it had a box. No, I mean sealed in the box. And you know, Google employees, they usually get like stipends to actually buy electronics like phones. Sometimes they buy it and resell it because they just want the cash and they don't want the product. So I bought that product from him. I didn't even pay taxes on it. Should I say that? Don't really matter, okay? But overall, I paid $1,100. A great phone, okay? Awesome phone, but I just did not get the use from it because I'm not using that phone to record. I have a camera to record, okay? So I actually said to myself, if I keep this phone until the iPhone 15 comes out, I'm going to lose a bunch of money because you guys know when a new iPhone comes out, the older one sells for less, obviously. It's just how things happen. It's depreciation. So I said, well, my phone right now is at 96% health. So I can actually sell it for a good price. And right now, I'm actually living on an island in the Dominican Republic, which basically means I can resell things for like almost like retail price or sometimes even more than retail price. So I was able to sell my iPhone 14 Pro Max 6 months later at 96% health, battery health for about $1,100, meaning I did not lose any money whatsoever on the transaction from a money point of view. Now, with that money, I said to myself, I could buy a brand new iPhone 13 mini. I'll tell you why I chose a mini later in this video for about $730, fully unlocked, 256 gigs, okay? That's your idea. And that's what I actually wanted. But then I said to myself, I bought a new phone. Doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna feel guilty about it because I know there are so many good deals out there. Now I know in the used market I can find one for about $550 to $500, but usually they're not that great quality. They have a lot of problems. But I actually got this one right here on eBay for about $450. It was selling for $500. I made an offer privately for $450. He said, if you buy it right now, I'll give it to you for $450. And I actually bought it right then and there for $450. Now you might say, Tommy, why did he sell it to you for $450? Well, there are a few clauses here. The battery life is about 86%, which is still like good. It's not bad. On top of that, it does have some scratches on the screen. And if you look at it, I'm pretty sure that you will not be able to even see them or be able to tell because it's not actually that visible at all. I think maybe there you can see a little bit of it, like right here and so on, but it's like very minimal. On top of that, on the body of the phone, it actually has some dents and scratches. So right here you have like a little dent right there. If you can, how do you do this? Yeah, right there. See, right there, a little dent. A little dent there. A little one. I think that's basically about it. Okay, so overall though, that was basically it. So for some scratches and a dent, which you don't see once you put on a cover, and you don't see once you put on, for example, a screen protector, doesn't really matter. So just because of that, I was able to save a bunch of money. Now, how much did I save exactly? Well, I saved about $325 in total. Well, on the phone, like 280, but I actually bought this Apple MagSafe case, leather, and it looks like it's been used because it has been used. I also bought this used, by the way, and it goes for $60 retail. I paid $15 on an eBay auction. I refuse to pay retail for anything. Now, this basically means on the overall deal, I saved $325 on this transaction. Now, to conclude the portion of this video on the transaction, there's also the part of I have left $665 after this transaction, and with that money I bought myself a little MagSafe charger. This is actually official from Apple too, by the way. As you can see, it's actually a liquidation one, so I actually got it for $40 instead of paying, for example, $100 retail. Is it original? The answer is it is original. I checked the serial number. It has all the features within the phone, so it's original, it's solid. I got a good deal on it too, and I saved a bunch of money on it too. On top of that, I even bought myself a Nintendo Switch for $190, which is awesome, and I actually like it a lot more. I bought a backpack. I even bought some gifts from friends, so I still even have money left over because why not, right? So the transaction overall made a lot of sense. It's still the same phone. I haven't used a slow iPhone in like forever because they're all so good and efficient. The camera is good for what I want it for. I'm not doing any high quality stuff on it, so it's solid. It's a great phone. Now, here's the reason why I actually bought the iPhone 13 mini, okay? So it wasn't just because I was watching all the videos on YouTube about it, although I did because I'm like that. When I want to buy something, I do so much research on it. But overall, it was one because of the form factor. I really wanted a phone that fits me in my hand like this, and I can touch every part of the screen, that I can put in my pocket without having to worry about it, that it doesn't feel like it weighs a ton. This phone is so light, and even when I put it on, for example, the battery, it is still, I would say, lighter than my iPhone 14 Pro Max when I had everything on it, okay? Because that phone was so heavy. But this is just perfect. The form factor is perfect. On top of that, it has an A15 Bionic chip, so, or is it the A14 it has, but overall it's a solid chip. Like, it's not a slow phone. It does everything I needed to do. But the most important part about the transaction was I bought the iPhone 13 mini because I wanted less time on my phone. Now, this phone obviously has a caveat, which is the battery life is not that great. But on itself, if I do like regular use, like I used to do, for example, my iPhone 14 Pro, it won't last me past like 2-3 p.m. So I have to charge again. But if I use this Apple MagSafe, it'll charge me like the entire day, okay? Last me the entire day. So it works great. But my overall goal is to get off social media, stop watching so much YouTube videos, honestly, and just like resist a lot more, and to be able to save a lot more time and be off my phone a lot more. And I have realized that ever since I got this phone, which hasn't been that long, I've been able to like stop using my phone as much as I actually use it, which is actually exactly what I got it for. I still do everything I need to do on it. It's still a great phone. The camera works great. If I'm not mistaken, it has the same camera as the iPhone 12 Pro, which is more than I can ask for. It has a great battery life for like average use. If I use this like on average use, I get like 5 to 6 hours of screen time, and that's like more than enough. Like, why would I want to spend more than 6 hours on a phone? Like, even more than 3 hours on a phone, it's like too much, okay? So I really want to work on that. Now, on top of that, the third reason I actually got this phone, well, the second reason, well, the first reason was financially, obviously, because I can save a bunch of money, have a equally good product. Second reason is basically screen time. I want to work on that. And third reason is like flexibility. The iPhone 13 mini is, in my regards, like the perfect iPhone. It's small. It returns to the old form factor. It's flexible in all senses. You can take it wherever you want to. You can put it in your pocket. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels great on the hand. It's just an overall quality product. Again, I told you, this is a financial channel. When it comes to details on finances, I can tell you a lot more. When it comes to details on like more features and all this stuff, like it's the same product. The iPhone 15, when it comes out, it'll be the same phone as always, okay? It's the same thing. You back it up, put it in, can't even tell the difference anymore. But yeah, that's basically it for this video, guys. I hope you actually enjoyed it. So remember, if you have a product at home that you actually have and you can resell it for a profit or a decent amount and buy a product again that does the same exact thing, why wouldn't you do that? Okay, so I rather have, for example, a Nintendo Switch where I can play with friends, buy a gift for a friend, have nice stuff that I actually like, than just having an expensive phone that I walk around with that I don't really feel comfortable with, honestly, because it's too much. But thanks for watching this video, guys. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, comment down below. I made it, so I know you made it. But if you're thinking about the iPhone 13 mini, I recommend the 13 mini because the battery life is better than the 12 mini. I could have bought a 12 mini for a lot cheaper, but the battery life was just awful, like terrible. So I wouldn't do that. So that's why I went with the 13 mini, where the battery life is actually a lot better. But if you're worried about like, oh, there's a small screen, this screen is actually bigger than an iPhone 6 Plus, iPhone 8 Plus. Remember those phones when they were actually massive? But it's like the whole screen. Like the screen is more than enough. If you're worried about gaming, I don't game often, but I've seen videos of people playing Call of Duty on it, and it works just fine. Even with, for example, the little controllers you actually get. I think it's called like the backbone thing, which works fine. If you're worried about battery life, if you use your phone past like 6 hours, it is a factor. But if you get, for example, a battery pack, I recommend the Apple official battery pack because it does like help protect the actual health of the battery, because when it detects temperature, it actually changes and it stops charging or whatever. So yeah, that's what I actually recommend. But yeah, that's overall it, guys. Thanks for watching. I did all my shopping on eBay where I usually do it. Yeah. And by the way, my screen protector and the little camera thing that I got, it does have a little plastic thing right here in the back, by the way. I paid like $7, like for 3 pieces, okay? When you go on Amazon to shop for screen protectors, make sure you type in like a price limit, because a lot of it is just like overpriced and you don't need to spend that much money on this stuff whatsoever. It's just glass. It's the same 9H hardness, so it doesn't matter, right? But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace. Up here, maybe I'll put up here my iPhone 14 video. And here's my face. As always, long-term team officially out.